Chargers and the Warriors respectively ready for the opening tip. And Howard wins it back for ESU. Davon Lee will work it across the timeline against the pressure from Josh White, and we are underway. Christian Pierre-Philippe, touch underneath for McAlily. Count the bucket, end the foul. Look, he's the guy to spotlight. The 6'6" redshirt senior averaging 26 a game to start the year.
Yeah, definitely. If you're this Warriors team, you definitely like the start of this game going straight to McAlily, your leading scorer who's averaging 26 points per game and was able to get that end one on that shot. However, if you're DU, you do not want to start it like that. You need to contain McAlily and keep him under his average, around 14-16 this game. Especially
when your center, Manny Smith, picked up that personal foul. You combat it with a turnover. And kind of a picturesque start for the Warriors. We look at the rest of ESU's starting unit. It's Lakeem McAlily, Davon Lee, Cam Young, Christian Pierre-Louis, and Carson Howard. White forces the loose ball up top. McAlily in the picture. And a tie-up. Somehow Davon Lee ended up in the lap of Josh White. And jump ball is called. Possession to the Chargers. DU wearing the home whites. Tops and bottoms red. Down the side of the jerseys and at the shoulders, red numbers and letters outlined in black trim for the 1-0 Chargers. And all of a sudden, we're going to get a quick substitution. Davon Lee maybe lost a contact lens or something going to his bag on the sideline. So Evan Morton, the freshman guard, checks in. 3-0, ESU leads. Juelz Dickerson nearly turned it over. Heavy pressure here from Cam Young. Dickerson driving kick for Coy Kirk Jr. The Essex County College transfer drives down the lane, can't hit, gets his own miss. Kick out for White. Swing for Jaden Honis. He'll work it. Left elbow jumper not there. And Young with the rebound. Two teams that like to play at a quick pace. Two teams that are going to press the majority of this game. We're going to be in store for a track meet, Matt. McAlily for three off the heel. Hit the treetop afterwards. The Chargers take over. Same starting unit as Wednesday. Jaden Honis, Josh White, Juelz Dickerson, Coy Kirk Jr., and Manny Smith. And I think what you want to look at is, can Manny Smith replicate what he did a double-double in the opener? He's got another tough matchup tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Manny Smith needs to come out with that same performance that he had in his game a few days ago with that double-double performance. But one thing that happened on that last play, if the Chargers want to stay in this game and have a chance to win, they have to force McAlily to shoot. He's shooting about 26% from beyond three. He just shot that contested three with Kirk Jr. with his hand up, and they need to continue to do that because he is not that strong scoring from the outside.
Now a lot of perimeter work, loves getting to the line. Jaden Honis, top of the key, 4-3. Knots things up at three early. Honis, who had a dozen in the opener. Trying to respond because Cam Young couldn't hit. Howard on the offensive rebound, and he's fouled on the way up, and that might be two quick ones against Manny Smith, and it is problematic.
And that's going to hurt. So one thing that I liked out of that press is it forces the offensive team into shots early. And I don't think that this Warriors team can convert off of the press so early in offense. However, the Chargers need to do a better job of limited second chance opportunities. They were able to get the shot missed. If they were able to get that rebound and keep it going, however, they didn't. So they need to limit second shot opportunities as well.
We talked to the coaches after game one against Adelphi, and the pleasant surprise of seeing 49 rebounds, a positive rebound margin for this team against a taller, bigger Panthers squad. It's not something we saw a lot from the Chargers last year. They're going to have a similar effort with that gang rebounding on the glass today as Howard hit both free throws. Tyler Edor checks in for Manny Smith. Look, it's going to have to be a big game for the freshman Edor. Stripped on his way to the rim, takeaway by Evan Morton. Trying to run the bake. There are three Chargers in the backcourt. Morton behind the back, feed into the corner. Three ball from Pierre-Louis. No good. Rebound tip. Second chance, McAlily. Lost it on the way up. It was last touched by the Chargers. It's another offensive rebound for ESU, who is controlling the tempo right now.
And this Warriors team, I'm going to continue to say it. You have to be mindful that you're shooting three. You're shooting 27% from beyond three. You don't want to live and die from the three if that's your weakness.
Up top, Morton's going to let it rip straight away. He drains it.
I think he heard me.
That's the guy, though. He's 40% on the year. 2 for 5 to start the season. The Chargers down by 5. Coy Kirk with it. Swings right wing for Honis, trying to respond, and does. Jaden Honis, big-time shot maker on this team, the top returning scorer for the Chargers. McLilley in transition, underneath Howard, swatted away from behind. There's Honis doing it on both ends of the floor. 8-6 East Stroudsburg leads. This is a Warriors team that went 25-5 a year ago out of the PSAC, 18-4 in the PSAC East. And were picked to win the East this year as well. McLilley knocks down White on the screen. Jump shot missed. Second chance. Another block underneath Edor, but a third effort. And Young pushes it in. McLilley put the shoulder right into the jaw of Josh White. D wanted a foul and didn't get it. White for Honis, skips Coy Kirk Jr. He'll rotate out Dickerson. Driving is Jewels, tries to elevate over Howard, can't bank it in. And McLilley with the rebound. He's averaging 5 a game to start the year. Transition 3, McLilley rattles in. 13-6, ESU leads. And the Chargers struggling against the pressure of the Warriors.
We've seen two teams here that love to press, and they each give each other a taste of their own medicine. However, it does look like this press is working in favor for the Warriors.
Chargers are going to take a timeout, down 13-6 early. Remember, last time out, the Chargers held their opponent, the Adelphi Panthers, to just 41 points. So they're going to need to find a way to lock in that defense. And I did a dive into the numbers after the game because I was curious. When's the last time the Chargers defense did something like that? It's the lowest point total they've held an opponent to since 2009. They held the Adelphi Panthers to 39 points.
What a coincidence.
They've done it 11 times, holding an opponent under 50 in the last 16 seasons. So a remarkable start. And yes, you'd love to replicate that defensive performance. You're not going to hold a team to 41 every night. The offense is what's going to need to take a leap up today. Down a touchdown early. Dickerson inbounding in front of his own bench. And White will try and work it up the floor against Davon Lee. Out there with Christian Pierre-Louis. Jalen Pichardo. Touch for Edor down low. Trying to use his size. Edor spins left. Can't hit the layup. Ethan Milliron's out there for East Stroudsburg as well. The St. Thomas Aquinas College transfer. Driving kick. 3 from the left wing. Drained. Nasir Griffin, who's averaging 10.5 a game to start the year, and an ESU team that struggled from long range in their first 2 contests has hit 3 already. Dickerson underneath Edor, elevates, and a rim-grazing dunk from Tyler Edor. First collegiate points for Edor. A guy you're going to need big minutes out of today, with Manny Smith picking up 2 fouls in 2 minutes of play. Here's Griffin. Pass is knocked loose. Millirons recovers. Griffin's going to drive, and he's bumped by Honis. Jaden's first, team's third. Here comes Isaiah Honis off the bench.
Dominican Jaden. That's his first, team third.
16-8, East Stroudsburg leading. Honis replaces Coy Kirk. Can the Chargers get a stop? Millirons receives the inbound in the short corner, and a ticky-tack foul called underneath. Jewels Dickerson, the culprit, his first, the team's 4th already. Lead inbound. Goes back to Millirons in the corner, a sharpshooter who played just down the road at Stack the last couple of years. Pichardo straight away, dribble handoff for Terrell Pitts. Over to Lee, trying to work with the left, spins right, lefty floater from the free throw line, cashes in. Chargers go over the top to beat the pressure. White, long 2 in transition. No good. And maybe not the shot selection you're looking for in transition. You can always settle for a long two.
Yeah, I think White bailed out the defense in that play. I would have been a little bit more heady, understand time, scoring possession, and get a better offensive set on that last play, which now led to a three-pointer.
Ethan Milliron's three-ball corner pocket. Guy who shot 42% from long range in his career at Stat. There's Dickerson, a transition layup. 21-10, ESU leads. Lee and Griffin play catch in transition. Pichardo is going to let it fly from the top of the key and hit.
Well, to tell you this team is coming out shooting the ball well. As I said, they were shooting 27% thus far for the first two games. However, they're knocking down three-point shots this game. So the DU Chargers are going to have to contest their shots and speak and communicate on the defensive end.
They are 5 of 8 from long range to begin the game. Just 6 minutes in, Edor out-muscled on the rebound there. Lee floats up for Pichardo. Working around Edor, the floater, good. The lead is 16, and Joe Clinton needs to take another timeout. Everything going right for East Stroudsburg, but on the other side, everything going wrong right now for the Chargers.
Yeah, you know what? This East Stroudsburg Warriors are a fully loaded team when you have a well-balanced offense and multiple players who can score the ball. But the one thing that I would say that stands out to me the most is their full court pressure. It seems like the DU Chargers are struggling a little bit breaking that press, and the times that they do break that press, they do not get a good shot or into their offense to run a good set.
And it's a little strange to think about it. A team that presses the full 40 minutes themselves, you'd think some of these guys are going against it at practice. Is that something that generally translates to someone who played at this level?
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking coming into this game, you're going to see two teams that press well, and it shouldn't really rattle either one of the teams. But it looks like this DU Chargers is a little bit rattled from this press from the Chargers. From the Warriors.
Seems like things are a little congested in the backcourt on this pressure. They've only been sending one man deep. Do you think you have a better opportunity to just maybe rely on two of your guards trying to work it up as opposed to putting 3 or 4 people in the backcourt?
Yeah, that may be the thing, but it's a little bit different when you're watching it and on the court.
Oh, yes, he was going to set up that full court pressure. Milliron's guards the inbound. We've got 4 in the front court, or in the back court, I should say, for DU. And they get it into Moorish. Resets with Dickerson trying to work it up against Millirons. 13:45 to play in the first half. ESU off to a blistering start, up 26-10. Moorish, who was the bright spot off the bench Wednesday with a game-high 13 points, checked in. They work for Isaiah Honis. He pumps, tries to step through, blocked from behind, went hard off the glass, and the long rebound for Terrell Pitts. Pitts doubled in the corner, steps through, swings out for Griffin. And they work to reset with Davon Lee. Pichardo on the screen. They both go the same way. Kick to the corner, 3-ball, no good. Rebound secured by Griffin, but then he fell out of bounds, turning it over. Davon Lee will get a breather. Cam Young back in. Like East Stroudsburg mentioned how good they were, won 25 games a year ago. You bring back your all-conference player 3 years running in Lakeem McAlily, but finding those complementary pieces in the transfer portal, a lot of it this year, as the inbound is punched out of play. You bring in Cam Young from St. Peter's. You bring in Christian Pierre-Louis from the College of St. Rose, Ethan Millirons from Stack, Luol Manyang off the bench right now out of Valparaiso. Transition, Honis, the pocket pass for Darryl Brown Jr., and he's swatted away from behind. Carson Howard and Lakeem McAlily back in for East Stroudsburg. For Darryl Brown Jr., his first minutes of the year, didn't play in the opener. 6'7" senior from Dallas, Texas. Inbound nearly thrown away, and Moorish has it taken away. One-on-one fast break. Young with the finger roll, misses. Millirons to follow for the offensive rebound. McAlily, deep 3 from the wing, splashdown. I'll tell you, if Lakeem McAlily, a 20% three-point shooter, is hitting from long range, Chargers are going to be in a lot of trouble.
Definitely so.
Honis, 3-ball from the corner, misses short. Loose rebound. Underneath Dickerson. He's blocked by Howard. Numbers the other way for ESU. 5-on-4. They kick out. McAlilly again.
He's definitely feeling it, and he is not looking like a 26% shooter from beyond 3 tonight. He's definitely on fire.
He's got a dozen. 3 of 4 from long range. Darryl Brown Jr. with a quick layup. The Chargers have been punched in the face. Down 20. 8 minutes in. Short corner jumper, air ball. Dickerson with the rebound. Floats for Honis. Up ahead to Morrish through traffic. Can't finish with the left, but a foul on the play. And Chance Morrish going to the line. Lakeem McAlilly with a dozen points already today. He's up to 1,498 in his career. He's been a threat offensively his whole time at East Stroudsburg. 2-time first-team All-PSAC, 1-time second-team All-PSAC East, and he is currently 6th all-time in scoring for the Warriors. And we're seeing why right now.
Yeah, he's definitely the real deal. No ifs, ands about it.
Morrish misses the front end as both sides make some substitutions. Coy Kirk, Josh White, and Keyshawn Maynard into the game. Maynard didn't play in the opener Wednesday. Cam Young and Evan Morton back in for East Stroudsburg as Morrish goes 1 for 2 at the stripe. 32-13. Warriors in front. Morton running the point. Chargers drop into a 2-3 zone with Honis in the middle. Baseline jumper, free throw jumper, and McAlilly. You see the grin on his face. He is on fire right now, and he knows it.
And the one thing that you cannot do is give McAlilly open, uncontested shots. You must contest every shot that he puts up.
Kick to the corner. Coy Kirk Jr. short on the 3. 1 and done go the Chargers offensively. Here's Morton in transition. McAlilly, heat check, right wing again.
You have to find them early. You have to find them as soon as he crosses that half-court line. He's looking to go for 30.
He's looking to go for 50 at this rate, Matt. He's got 15. White in transition. Contested layup, can't hit. Wanted the foul. Probably should have got it, but didn't. They got to go back to McAlilly, right? He wants it.
And he's open right now.
He's open from everywhere. And this one from the parking lot finally misses short. Howard, the last to touch the rebound out of play.
If I'm the Chargers right now, I keep it real simple on the defensive end. Whoever is guarding McAlilly, you must pick him up as soon as he crosses the half-court line. You have to defend him with confrontation and make it uncomfortable. He's getting to any spot that he wants. He's the leading scorer of this team. You have to put a presence on him.
He's got 17. The Chargers have 13 right now, 9 minutes in. Kirk driving from the corner. Swings far side. Isaiah Honis wide open. Big, much-needed hit from long range for DU. And look, we're talking about a guy in McAlilly. He said 26% from his career from long range. You don't see guys like that taking heat checks from 12 feet behind the arc very often. That's where his headspace is at the moment, in a good way. Young tried to shimmy, lost it out of play. Coy Kirk deflected it. And Nasir Griffin checks back in. Griffin averaging 11 a game to start the year, had a dozen in the win against Lincoln last time. Now Lincoln is picked to win the CIAA. Can the Chargers get a stop? It's the easiest way to settle your offense. Morton elbow jumper, no. Offensive rebound, Pierre Louis. And he's stripped on the way up out of play. 16-6 the rebounding margin right now. ESU already has 7 offensive rebounds.
7 offensive rebounds that have led to 10 second chance points.
Just not going to cut it right now. The size advantage looming large for ESU. Morton, deep 3 up top over Morrish off the front of the rim. The Chargers can't secure the rebound. Griffin will lower the shoulder, initiate the contact, and is called for the charge. Griffin's first, the team's third. Chargers have the ball down 21. Van Maynard trying to inbound. Nowhere to go. This one pinballed on the far sideline, out of play. It was Griffin who had his heels out of bounds when he came down with the ball. But the Chargers struggling even for that first pass. As Honis checks in for Maynard. Jaden and Isaiah Honis, Josh White, Chance Morrish, and Coy Kirk out there. They go deep for Honis. Wrap around to the corner. Kirk wide open. 3-ball. Misses strong. McAlilly with the one-arm rebound. He's going to grab and go with the left. McAlilly, Euro step through the lane. The floater off front iron. No good. Outlet for Kirk with the defender coming behind him. Kirk, the transition layup. Make, miss, turnover. Both these teams 4, 5, 6 second possessions right now.
Yeah, definitely. The Chargers right now need to start playing game within games, right? They need to get defensive stops, and they need to cut the lead and try to go on a 5-0 run and try to chip at this 20-point lead.
Griffin missed the tip. Offensive rebound for Pierre Louis. Muscles his way out of the double and draws the foul. That's now 9 offensive rebounds for East Stroudsburg as Jalen Pichardo checks back in. He replaces McAlilly, a well-deserved rest for Lakeem, who you ready for this? In 6 minutes has 17 points. 3 off the inbound for Morton. 9th made triple, 9 for 15 are the Warriors from long range. Honis, teardrop in the lane, rattles out. He's thrown to the ground on the rebound, no call. The physicality of ESU playing a huge role, and they're getting away with a lot of it. Morton drives left lane, scoops with the left, can't hit. Isaiah Honis, outlets for Kirk. Kirk rises high and throws it down over a trailing Cam Young. Chargers still down by 20, but starting to get a few more looks offensively. It's going to come down to how is this the same defense we saw Wednesday?
Yeah, you know what? The Chargers are starting to get in a groove offensively, but the two things they need to focus on is defense and rebound. That's the key ingredients if they haven't won a chance of winning this game.
Pichardo with the free throw line jumper drilled. East Stroudsburg up to 42 points in 12 minutes. In the opener Wednesday, the Chargers held Adelphi in 40 minutes, the full game to 41 points. Kirk pirouettes in the lane, righty floater, he gets it to go. Kirk, one of those high-volume scorers who transferred in out of the junior college level. If he can get going, the type of guy who can take over on the offensive end for you.
Absolutely, and once again, the Chargers need to try to focus on the defensive end and get consecutive stops.
Young for 3, rattles in. Every player up and down the roster for ESU right now shooting like Steph Curry. Morrish, quick hands, the layup in fast break form. Caught napping back there was Griffin. That should have been a turnover easily forced by ESU. Morton down the lane, scoops to the right, can't hit. Offensive rebound, ESU. Pichardo finds the cutter, Young. Blocked by Honis. 3-on-1, Jaden in transition. Jaden blocked from behind. He gets his own miss. Chargers had an opportunity there, couldn't convert. Honis the trailer. You bet. Both ends, Isaiah Honis. He challenged Young at the rim and then hits the 3 to finish on the other end. Chargers down by 18 with 7 to play in the first.
Now for the Chargers need to build on this. It's going to sound like a broken record, but you just have one stop on the defensive end. You want to get 3 consecutive stops and try to get this Warriors team out off of rhythm.
Pierre Louis, count the bucket, end the foul, forcing his way down low. Got a chance at a 3-point play. Right now, a single stop's hard to come by.
Yeah, definitely.
Even when they've missed shots, the offensive rebounds have been there.
I'll say one thing. This Warriors team is definitely clicking on all cylinders on the offensive end. You have multiple players who have not been shooting the ball well from the 3, making consecutive 3s. McAlilly is doing whatever he wants on the offensive end, and they are forcing turnovers at will. So they are playing their game, and the Chargers are playing right into it. And it's hard to stop a team once they get their momentum and rhythm going.
Especially when it's not just one guy that you can key in on. Jaden Honis, left wing 3, cash. Mill Irons, McAlilly, Lee, all checked in at the last whistle for East Stroudsburg. Dickerson and Michael O'Mani entered for DU. Mill Irons wide open. That's the guy you expect to make him, who just missed from the left wing. And the Chargers with the defensive rebound. O'Mani hammered on his way to the rim, and he's going to the line for 2.
Now, this is, if I'm the Chargers, as I stated earlier, it's a game within the game. You have now got the lead down to 17. You want to get consecutive stops, and for this last 6 minutes and 17 seconds, try to get the lead down to at least 11 points, 10 points at halftime. At that point of time, it's anyone's game coming back into the second half. Down 10, I think they could live with that as poorly as they have played in this first half.
O'Mani misses the first free throw. Corey Kirk will come back in. No, you're exactly right. You can't look at this deficit as a whole right now. You have to break the game into little chunks and win these 5-6 minute stretches. First goal, get it within 10. Then you get it within 5, and if you can do that, all of a sudden that's striking distance. And so O'Mani goes 1 for 2 at the stripe. That was his first point of the season. Lee is blitzed. They rotate out for Pitts. Skip feed down low, taken away by DU. Dickerson the deflection. Honis had the takeaway. Jewels into traffic, floats it over the front rim and in, and the Chargers down just 14 now. Starting to find that offense. Can they convert on the defensive end as well? McAlilly called for the charge, goes right into the chest. I don't know how he's arguing this one.
Nah, McAlilly loves that left hand. And coming into this game, one of the keys for the Chargers is to cut off his left hand. And you have to, that help side defender has to be there. Obviously, we saw that in transition. He had his head down. He was going straight. That was a good defensive charge for the Chargers.
McAlilly beat his man at half court, and as soon as that happened, Dickerson set for the charge. And he took a pretty big blow. Chargers work it with Honis up top. O'Mani the screen. Honis to the elbow, feeds underneath O'Mani, can't handle the pass, but a foul called. They got Mill Irons, the reach from behind. His first, the team's 6th. Jaden Honis to inbound, left side and underneath the basket. Goes to Morris, short corner. Morris, quick dive to the rim. Can't hit offensive rebound. Kirk, he's blocked on the putback opportunity, and the rebound falls into the lap of Ethan Mill Irons. Lee up the floor. Pass underneath. Last touch by Dickerson. He and Pichardo hit the deck, and it was just swiped away by Jewels.
And McAlilly still got my heart beating because he is crossing half court and no one is meeting him. The defender is not meeting him until he gets to the three-point line, and you know what? That is too late for someone who's so hot.
4 of 6 from long range is McAlilly. 17 of the team's 47. Inbound goes for McAlilly. O'Mani on him. He beats him with the jab. McAlilly down low. Took a lot of contact, missed the shot, and the Chargers take over.
I thought he got fouled on that one.
They're letting them play a little bit. We had one ticky-tack foul, but there's been a ton of contact on both ends that has gone uncalled. And look, when we've seen that in games throughout the years, it usually means in the second half we're going to get a lot of foul calls.
Yeah.
To even things out. Kirk in transition. Kirk driving, split his man. He's hit across the chest, going for the layup, and Kirk will go to the line for 2. Even that whistle came in like a hair late. It was one of those, he's on his back now. I think we need to call a foul.
Yeah, but this, basketball is a game of runs, and if I'm the Chargers right now, I'm happy with our play. We were down 20, now we're down 14. If he can convert on both of these free throws, we'd be down 12. Just where you want it to be after being down 20 points. And then, like I said, it's a game within a game. Consecutive stops, right? As much as we want to score, you have to make stops on the defensive end. So you want to come back and get 3 consecutive stops while being able to score on the offensive end. And before you know it, it'll be anyone's game these last 5 minutes.
There started to be some missed shots now by Stroudsburg. The law of averages requires that to happen at some point. Can they continue to get that first rebound and prevent the second chances and third chances? As Kirk hits both at the line. Big part of those offensive rebounds, Carson Howard, who just checked back in, the 6'9 sophomore out of Pennsylvania, played in all 30 games as a freshman last year, and he's got a touch on the block now. Help comes, Chargers take it away. Dickerson fouled in transition, And Terrell Pitt's unhappy with the call. I'll tell you, Davon Lee coming over telling him, you bumped him, man. Like, it's that simple.
Yeah, definitely. And if I'm the Chargers, this is what I'm thinking. As I said, we're breaking this down a game within a game. Game 1, we've won that. 20-point game, we brought it down to 12 points. So we're on an 8-0 run. Now, single digits. Now we want to get it to single digits. We want to bring it in. That's game number 2. Bring it to single digits. And then we'll start a new game from there.
I'm gonna let you just keep talking, manifesting this, talk it into existence. Like, these are two, we mentioned it off the top, two of the better programs at the Division II level, two of the more experienced coaches. Between Joe Clinton of the Chargers and Jeff Wilson of the Warriors, at these respective schools alone that they're at, 56 years of coaching experience at these two schools. Chance Moorish saves it on the baseline. Chance to cut it to single digits. Moorish for Honis. Chargers skip on the swing pass. Kirk, long 2, tough shot. Kirk hits.
He's taking it.
It's Coy Kirk Jr. starting to heat up for the first time in a Charger uniform. It's an 8-point game here in the first half. Driving kick for Howard. He finds McAlilly trying to stop the bleeding, and he does. Once again, left open. Way too long in that possession.
At this point, you got to go boxing one on him, maybe, right? You have to stay on him, the defender. You can't give him any room. And McAlilly has done whatever he wants. Every time he gets the ball, he's comfortable. A defender has to meet him and make it confrontational in a respectful way. You can't let him get the ball and knock down threes and drive and do whatever he wants.
Obviously, McAlilly has good size, great strength at 6'6". For that matchup on him, are you looking at one of the Coy Kirk, Joel Dickerson wing size guys, or do you go to your man, right, like Josh White, like just be a pest?
I'm looking for someone who got heart at this point, right? Because you could think who will be the best defender size-wise or height-wise, but McAlilly's doing whatever he wants. So when that happens, I want whoever has heart. It could be someone that's 5'5", 5'8", 6'4". If you got heart, I want you on him, and I want you to make it hard for him.
And it's one thing for somebody to hit a shot to stop that run, but he's the last guy you want to see another bucket go in from. He's got that microwave badge on him, to say the least. 50-39, East Stroudsburg leads Dominican. 4:15 to play. Moorish in the short corner, trying to spin baseline. Backs it out for O'Mani. Now Honis. Honis has got a couple from long range. Caught his defender in the air. Goes Kirk. Kirk down the left lane. Shuffles for Moorish. Contact and a charge against Chance Moorish.
I thought we had a block on there, but if I was Kirk, I would have liked to see him go in and lay that up.
Yeah, you put Moorish in a tough position there. Very congested underneath. As Moorish will check out. That was just his first, the team's 8th, but you don't shoot on the offensive player control foul. Josh White back in. So it's White, Coy Kirk, Jaden Honis, Michael O'Mani, and Juelz Dickerson. O'Mani has been given tremendous minutes tonight. McAlilly with Kirk on it. Couldn't get the handoff around. McAlilly. Chargers wanted to travel on him. No call. Down the lane, Cam Young can't finish over the extended arm of Juelz Dickerson, and O'Mani cleans up the glass. Outlet to Dickerson in transition. Pulls up a step inside the arc. Chargers rotate near side. Jaden Honis nearly had his pocket picked. Cam Young is so quick, so innate at getting to the ball on that dribble. O'Mani, handoff for Dickerson. Thought about the triple, now he takes it. Right wing, Juelz Dickerson. Nothing but net. It's an 8-point game once again. 3:15 to go. Mill irons for Young. Mill irons. Young has space down low, fouled by Dickerson on the help side defense. Everybody's moving so quick at all points. Nobody stops moving that. When Young catches that pass, that quick hesitation, the defender just flies by and he had a pretty wide open lane there before Dickerson met him at the rim. A chance for 2 at the line here for Cam Young, who's 7 of 10 from the stripe to start the year. This East Stroudsburg team, they are a fine to solid free throw shooting team in terms of percentage. 72% coming in as Young hits the first. But what has been so important for them about free throws is the amount of times they get there, how frequently they've gotten to the line. They're averaging 30 free throw attempts a game over the first 2 games of the season. That's 12th most in the country. So you shoot 72% on 30 free throws tonight, getting 22 free points.
Yeah, and what that tells me is that this team attacks the basket. They like to get at the rim. They are strong around the basket. Players like to get into the paint and finish at the rim.
Young hits both. It's a 10-point game once again. Look, we've seen him get to the rack with those offensive rebounds today. White gets it away to Honis. 2 to clear half court. They get it to Dickerson. Jewels driving, stripped from behind by Young. More quick hands from Cam Young, who's averaging 4 steals a game over the first 2 games of the year. Morton drives, spins in the lane, and kicks out Pierre-Louis. Shuffle underneath Howard. Got the shot off, couldn't hit. Loose rebound. And an offensive rebound for Young and the Warriors. Kick out Morton, the 3, and the dagger on the end of that possession.
And those was hurt the most.
12
offensive rebound
rebounds.
to a 3-point shot.
They take it away.
Into a turnover, into a basket.
Those mistakes starting to compile like they did early on for DU. They cut it within 8. Now it's 15 the difference. And East Stroudsburg with a 57-point half and still 2 and change to play. Isaiah Honis is going to come in, as did Keyshawn Maynard. Corey Kirk and Jaden Honis get breathers. ESU shooting 48% from the field, 63% from 3, and they're 5 of 6 at the line. They have hit 12 first-half three-pointers in 19 tries. The Chargers are 6 of 10. Honis pumps from the far corner. Works inside, elbow jumper, rattles in. Honis has 8 points. And what's been a very different style game than we saw Wednesday. Makalili's 3 is long. Dan Maynard with the offensive rebound, or defensive rebound amongst the trees. And then Isaiah Honis turns it away on the pass. Makalili shuffles for Howard, and the easy left-handed layup. And the Chargers turn it over again. The outlet for Dickerson carried him out of bounds.
And they have to give the Warriors props. This Warriors team forces 28 turnovers a game, and they're doing a great job of speeding this Chargers team up and forcing them into turnovers.
And it's hard to speed up a team that plays as fast as DU does night in, night out. Makaleli is fouled down low on the floor. They're going to get Honis or Dickerson here. And it's Jewels Dickerson. His second, the team's 9th. It'll be 1-1 for Lakeem Makaleli. Elijah Peters is going to come in for Jewels Dickerson. Our first look at the freshman from Edison, New Jersey. 6'2", 210, listed at a Union Catholic High School. Plays kind of that 2-3 wing position as Makaleli hits the first. And a perfect trip to the line for Makaleli. He's got 22 points. 61-44, lead back up to 17, and the Chargers turn it over on the inbounds pass. Morton to inbound underneath. Shuffles into the corner for Pierre-Louis. Up for Makaleli in the keyhole. He goes Morton. Morton driving through contact. Count it, and the foul, a block against Darryl Brown Jr.
I think Darryl Brown Jr. was in that RA, in that restricted area. He's a little bit too low.
First against Brown Jr., the 10th against the Chargers And a free throw here for Evan Morton to grow that lead back to 20. We saw it shrink to 8 twice. But since then, ESU has gone back in cruise control as Morton hits the free throw. 64-44. And ESU stays in the pressure. White gets it into Peters. Back to White. He's doubled on the near side. Feeds across the timeline for Morris. Chance. Hop step in the paint. Puts some English on it. Countered in the foul. Morris a chance at a three-point play.
Nice drive to the basket by Chance. And then going to his little signature Euro step in for the N1.
And look, you look at 46 points at you're thrilled with 46 points at the break more times than not, approaching that 50-point mark. But it's going to have to be that emphasis on the defense. Can they find a little bit of that tenacity that they had Wednesday against Adelphi? 2-on-1 in transition. The float for Young in the short corner. Resets out Morton. Turnaround three off front iron. Offensive rebound. Howard won't count. He pushed Josh White from behind, and Howard whistled for the foul, his first. And Josh White's going to get some free throws out of this. The second on Howard. And the double bonus means a pair for White at the line. White is yet to score today in 15 minutes of play.
McAlily's ready on his average. 22 points in the first half with 47 seconds left.
White misses the first free throw. He is he's had a first half, to say the least, a really impressive one, and he's done so in 12 minutes. This is a big guy. He's a big man for this team. He's stretching the floor today, not something he always does, but White splits the pair. He doesn't play a ton of minutes. We see a ton of guys at this level who play 35 to 40 minutes a game. McAlily plays about 24 minutes a game. As we get a foul away from the ball. Jalen Pichardo will get a couple of free throws as Peters picks up his first. And Pichardo hits the first. You know, when they talk about, shooting slash lines and all that, they talk about the best in the business. Some of the best ever to have that 40, 50, 90 slash line. Over 40% from three, over 50% from the field, and over 90% from the free throw line. East Stroudsburg's right about there, as both free throws were good for Pichardo. White under pressure, he's fouled. East Stroudsburg is 48% from the field, 57% from long range, and 91% at the line. They have 66 first half points with at least one more possession to come.
This East Stroudsburg's Warriors team plays with a chip on their shoulder. It seems like somebody was left out of the tournament last year, and they have a point to prove this season.
It seems like somebody was ranked 26th in the country yesterday in the national poll, per se, after a 2-0 start. You're a team that's picked by the coaches in your conference to win your side of the conference. However, there were teams that were picked in conference below you in the national poll. There's definitely a chip there. I mean, you go 25-5 and you don't make the tournament out of a conference that sends a lot of guys into that Mid-Atlantic region. 18-point game. 1.5 second differential game clock and shot clock for ESU here. Morton working with Maynard on him defensively. McAlily's got White down low. They don't use the mismatch yet. Morton works right. Feeds for McAlily. He's been the guy in the first half. Puts up a prayer, blocked on the way up by White. 2 seconds to go. Maynard from half court. No good.
Make him feel their presence. Second is that offensive rebound. They have to do a better job rebounding the basketball and limiting second chance opportunities. And third, and not least, is limiting turnovers.
9 turnovers by DU, 18 points off turnovers for East Stroudsburg. Chargers in a 2-3 zone. White picks off the pass. 2-on-1 in transition. Can't hit the layup, but the putback followed by Jaden Honis. You also get Manny Smith back in this half. Played just 2 minutes. Picked up 2 fouls in the first. As there's another takeaway by the Chargers. Kirk had it. They float for White in the corner. Pocket pass underneath for Smith. Can't hit the layup, but he's fouled. Right there's your first impact. Drawing an early foul against Carson Howard. But what kind of difference can Manny Smith make in the middle for the Chargers, barring no more foul trouble in the second half?
Well, on the defensive end, Manny Smith has some great attributes because of his long length. So someone could get around him, someone can muscle him down out of position, but the one thing that Smith has is a long reach, and he makes up for that on the defensive end. Secondly, on the offensive side, he gives them a post presence, someone who could score with their back to the basket and a face-up drive.
And some can affect some of those rebounds that have been so often one and done for the Chargers, even if he can get a deflection on a potential offensive rebound to create some altered movement. He hits his first free throw. Manny, a guy who averaged a block a game last year, coming off a double-double in the win against the Delphi. Goes 1 of 2 at the line. Rebound pulled in by Lakeem McAlilly. And a foul from behind is going to go against Jaden Honis. His second, the team's first of the half. Jaden Honis, Coy Kirk, Jules Dickerson, Josh White, and Manny Smith for the Chargers to start half number 2. Oh. Late foul call at midcourt, and they're going to get Honis again. Quickly, he's in foul trouble with 3. It's Lakeem McAlilly, Cam Young, Davon Lee, Nasir Griffin.
I think Pierre Louis was a little bit out of control. I think the defense did a great job of forcing him into turning that basketball over. However, the referee saw it a different angle.
Look, what did we say? They let him play. I know the fouls started adding up. There was a lot of physicality that was let go in the first, which means we expected to see things a little kept under control more in the second half as White is tripped up by McAlilly from behind. Already 4 total fouls, a minute in, 2 from each side as McAlilly picks up his second. Josh White a little bit of a dead leg after that as he walks it off. For the Chargers, Jaden Honis leads them with 11 points. Coy Kirk Jr. is 10. Jewels Dickerson 9. Isaiah Honis with 8. For East Stroudsburg, Lakeem McAlilly is 22 points, including 5 made threes, a dozen from Evan Morton, and 9 from Jalen Pichardo. Dickerson kicks up for White. He works elbow, swings Honis, right wing 3 off the front of the rim. Grazes toward Dickerson and an offensive rebound. Chance at second chance points for the Chargers. 12 on the timer. White shoos away the screen. White, left lane, spins. Free throw line jumper blocked on the way up by Young. They outlet McAlilly. In transition, finishes amongst 2 Charger defenders. And McAlilly up to 24 points. And the Chargers throw it away on the inbound. Right to Cam Young. Here's Lee. Pocket pass underneath. McAlilly again.
And just like that, this Warriors team has done a great job of forcing turnovers and converting off of turnovers. In that last 2 offensive plays, they have scored 4 points off of turnovers.
Even that pass that gets through, it's just thrown into so much traffic. As we get a tie-up at midcourt, it's like a hospital ball being thrown by a quarterback. Just floating it toward Josh White there, airborne with 2 defenders coming at him. It's just so hard to create anything off of that. What adjustments would you look at them to make trying to beat this full court pressure?
I think it's once the ball gets inbound, just composure for a second. Let players clear out a little bit and try to read the defense instead of getting the basketball and reacting right away. You have to read the defense. You have to kind of see who's cheating, what positions they're in, and then you make your decision from there.
On the tie-up, possession stays with the Chargers. They set up a sideline out-of-bounds play. For Jewels Dickerson straight away. They get it down on the low block to Kirk. With Pierre Louis on his back hip. Baseline turnaround, Kirk. Fouled on the jump shot, and Coy Kirk Jr. going to the line for 2. Kirk was one of the offensive bright spots in the first half, shot 50% from the field. Was 0 of 2 from 3, a couple of free throws. He's got double-digit points. And a guy who's got the size and build that he can make an impact on both sides of the floor this year in his first season in the Charger red. And he hits free throw number 1. Ethan Milirons checks in to replace Christian Pierre-Louis. Kirk's second free throw is up and good. He's 4 of 4 at the charity stripe tonight after going just 1 of 3 in his DU debut. Griffin breaks the pressure along with Lee. Driving kick, Milirons all alone, 3-ball, corner pocket. That's what he does. Sharpshooter off the bench in Ethan Milirons. And the Chargers throw a baseball pass up ahead for Kirk. Fading baseline, double team. Can the Chargers find the open man? Honis driving, part the Red Seas underneath. An easy left-handed layup for Honis. He's got 14. And a foul in the backcourt against Juelz Dickerson. That is the third against Dickerson.
And I'm not mad at that, although he did foul him. Might have been the first time someone put a body on McAlilly.
You got to let him know you're there. You got to let him know you're aware of what he can do. And combat muscle with muscle there. 2-3 zone defensively for the Chargers. They extend it beyond the three-point line. Cam Young open on the baseline. Hop step in the lane up top for Milirons. Fresh off of a three-point make. Now it's Young. Over to Lee into the keyhole. McAlilly floats with the left. Too strong off back iron. He gets his own miss. McAlilly second chance. Too strong again. McAlilly on the offensive rebound and a tie-up. He and Dickerson. Jump ball, Warriors possession. That's 2 more offensive rebounds, both by Lakeem McAlilly. He and Davon Lee will check out. Morton and Pichardo into the game. 73-55, 16:45 to go in this ball game. We're going to be in store for one of the higher scoring affairs we've seen in a couple of years here. There's a foul underneath against the Chargers. We're going to get Jaden Honis for his 4th. The last guy you want to see coming off the floor if you're Joe Clinton.
Yeah, and that's going to hurt because Honis has been playing great offensively for this Chargers team, leading all scorers for the Chargers with 13.
Young the inbound underneath. Honis had a dozen in the opener. Driving is Griffin. He's fouled on the way up. And these fouls starting to rack up. 11 called on each side in the first half. That is the 5th against DU in 3 minutes and 25 seconds this half.
The only thing that I'm not mad at is that they're coming with a defensive presence. So although they are committing fouls, they are making their presence known. In the first half, this Warriors team was doing whatever they want. At least now in the second half, they still doing whatever they want, but they're making it feel for it.
At least they get beat up a little bit along the way as Nasir Griffin hits the first. Foul one against Morris, his second. Mentioned the team's 5th. Griffin goes 1 of 2. Manny Smith with the rebound. And the Chargers get it up ahead to Morris. Morris, pocket feed for Dickerson. Reverse layup off the glass and in. Juelz Dickerson in double figures with 11. The 3rd Charger to get there.
Got it.
And a takeaway for Dickerson. Dickerson pumps underneath. Tried to reverse on the layup. And I think it was blocked. He may have tripped over Chance Morris on his way underneath the rim. And it'll be an inbound underneath for the Chargers. Morris will be the feeder. Floats it to the elbow for Manny Smith. They get Morris coming around the screen. He reverses to his dominant left, wraparound feed. Batted down by Cam Young, but it landed on the baseline. Cam Young with 3 steals tonight. He's got 11 through 2.5 games this year. He's been a defensive problem in a good way. Morris, hop step in the lane, can't hit the floater. Rebound tipped up by Smith, but secured by Pichardo and the Warriors. They get it to Morton, who's out and running. Morton down the left lane, goes high off the glass, can't hit. And a foul on the floor against the Chargers on the rebound opportunity. That may be Smith or Dickerson. One of them's getting. And that's Dickerson's 4th. So both Honis and Dickerson, 2 of the DU starters, 2 guys who have combined for 24 points tonight, have 4 personal fouls.
This is a big Warriors team.
And they're going to go back to Jaden Honis.
I'd like to see Omani come back in. I thought he gave this Chargers team a good boost defensively, using his size and strength in the interior.
Yeah, he played extremely well in that rotating center role in the first half. Morton down the lane, spins, lost the defender, elevates jumper, no. Tip drill from Griffin, first try, no. Second falls in.
And they have no answers for this Warriors. They have been dominating on the offensive boards.
Already up to 76 points is East Stroudsburg. And a foul on the inbound. Milirons pushing Honis out of play. I was a little bit surprised to see Honis go in for Dickerson, both with 4 personal fouls. I guess it's just the trust that Coach Clinton has in Jaden Honis, perhaps? Or are we going to get him out here? Dan Maynard going to the scorer's table to check in. And he is going to spell Jaden Honis. Dominican down by 19. Inbound goes for Morris. Floats it for Maynard. May got away with a walk for Kirk. Has he moved? Driving with the right, goes up strong and is fouled. Coy Kirk going to the line for free throws 5 and 6 today. Kirk too strong on the first. That foul went against Jalen Pichardo, his 2nd, the team's 5th. Pitts, Pichardo, Milirons, Griffin, and Morton out there for Jeff Wilson's crew, the 22nd year head coach of the Warriors, as Kirk gets the friendly roll on the 2nd. He's won 8 PSAC East regular season titles, 3 PSAC championships overall. He's taken this team to 7 NCAA tournaments. This has been a program. It's been one of the best around for quite some time. It's the 3 from the corner, no good from Pitts. There's Griffin with another offensive rebound. They swing down low. Pitts may have been deflected on the way up. At worst, it was altered by Smith. They outlet for Coy Kirk Jr. Baseline J, and he's fouled on the jump shot. Morton got the palm with his fingertips on the follow-through there.
I think Morton bailed him out on that shot in the early offense. Kirk really didn't have that much going on in terms of team-wise and teammates in his area. It looked like he got that shot up a little bit too early.
We've seen it a couple times. Finally, you break the pressure and have some room, and you settle for a jump shot too.
And that's what the press does. The press usually
just speeds
you up and gets you out of your normal offense.
Elijah Peters over to the scorer's table, ready to check in. As Kirk's first is pure. So it looks like Peters will be replacing Kirk here, the shooter. He was 5 of 6 from the line tonight.
I really would like to see Omani come back in this game.
You got coach in your ear. You're in coach's ear or something. He gets right up off the bench and walks over to check in as Kirk hits both. He's got a team high 14. Game high still belongs to Lakeem McAlilly, who had 17 points in his first 6 minutes. He's got 26 overall now. Maynard and Kirk came out for Peters and O'Mani. Griffin and Morton working together to break the pressure. Morton may have gotten away with a walk. Pitts skip past Griffin. He'll let it fly. Left wing three. Off front rim, no. Loose rebound. Morton got a touch, and we have a foul on the floor. Looks like it's against DU. Just reading those bounces off the rim, the hustle on these offensive rebounds has been all East Stroudsburg tonight. That foul goes against O'Mani, his second, and it puts ESU in the bonus. 1-1 at the line for Morton. Some of the rebounding numbers. First of all, it's a plus 11 rebound margin overall for East Stroudsburg as Morton hits the first. Plus 10 on the offensive glass, and it's just plus 1 on the defensive glass. But the amount of second chance points just piling up for the Warriors.
I mean, that's the difference maker right there, the second chance points. When you're looking at 19 second chance points and being down 18.
Morton hits both. And as Matt said, an 18-point deficit, 14 and a half to play. There's still a ton of basketball to go. Morrish forces his way up the floor against Mill Irons. Full head of steam, Chance Morrish shoves his way through Mill Irons and finishes with the lefty finger roll. Morton goes to the trailer. They kick into the corner. Pitts puts down one dribble and finds Morton. Morton, good behind the back dribble move. As Isaiah Honis on him, and clears it away to Tyrell Pitts. Morton calls for the screen. He gets it. Pull up, left wing three. Count it. And the foul. A chance at 4 for Evan Morton.
I like what Morton brings to this team. A combo guard who can run the point and then switch gears to score the basketball like he just did on that three-point and one.
Morton, just a freshman. One of 3 on this Warriors team out of Matthews, North Carolina, 2-time North Carolina high school state champion. Scored over 1,000 points there and has come in and made an instant impact off the bench for Jeff Wilson's crew as he finishes off the 4-point play, the lead back to 20. The Chargers just can't compile enough stops at the moment. Morrish forces his way, the up and under step through, and Morrish another floater. If you took away the defensive aspect of the game and you just look at the offensive output for the Chargers, 64 points, what is 27 minutes is remarkable. Mill Irons off the heel on the 3. What do you know, an offensive rebound. This time it's Pitts. Pichardo, 2 feet in the paint, kicks out. Griffin's 3, no. Loose rebound, and Morrish has it. Morrish for Smith, around the defender, count it, and 1. Manny Smith got the feed. Took a second, as you've been asking for everyone to do. Saw the defender was set for the charge. Just a little slide step around him, and the finish for the big fella.
Now, it's really building off of this momentum. If you want to have a shot at winning this game, it starts right now. And then it also starts on the defensive end, rebounding, finding the offensive player, putting a body on him, and then securing that basketball. It has to be a point of emphasis at this point.
They have struggled mightily, completing the one-and-done possessions tonight. Smith finishes off the 3-point play. And we'll get a breather as Tyler Edor comes in. For that first free throw, Christian Pierre-Louis, Carson Howard, and Lakeem McAlilly checked back in. Morton lost it for a sec. Now outlets for Pierre-Louis. With Edor on him. Kicks out. Morton's 3, no. Offensive rebound. And more second chance points for Lakeem McAlilly. He's up to 28 on the night, leading all scorers. His team leads by 17. And timeout taken on the floor by Jeff Wilson and the Warriors. We're going to step aside. ESU 84, DU 67 here on the CACC Network. Back out of the break. Football pass on the baseline from Isaiah Honis. They got it to Edor. Tried to shuffle to the trailer in Moorish, but another Charger turnover. Hits the other way, rises high, turned away Elijah Peters. And then a foul underneath after the fact, but how about the freshman Elijah Peters meeting Terrell Pitts at the rim?
Yeah, nothing easy over here. Up 20 points. Still good way to stay with it defensively and not giving up.
Peters, who was a DNP on Wednesday, gotten some run today. Obviously, Coach Clinton has been forced to go deeper into his bench. They're both making sure everybody's got enough energy and some of the foul trouble, and just seeing what lineup might be able to get a stop tonight against the Warriors. Zay Honis at the line for 2. It's a 1-and-1, and he hits the first. Isaiah had 10 points and 8 rebounds. And a win Wednesday against the Delphi, a CACAL tournament team honoree a year ago, as a perfect trip to the free throw line. He's up to 10 points. ESU breaks the pressure. Morton gathers in the paint. Kicks out Pierre-Louis. McAlilly airballed the 3, but Howard on the offensive rebound. He's fouled on the putback. I mean, for a guy who seems like he hasn't even touched the rim on a lot of his shots tonight, that one just a wee bit off for McAlilly.
Yeah, I don't know if he got stuck in pulling and shooting the 3 and then seeing Howard was open and he wanted to pass it. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's been so hot tonight. I got to give him the benefit of the doubt. I was about to say,
whatever decisions he's made, they've all been the right ones, it seems like, as Howard hits the first free throw. And Howard, a perfect trip to the line. 86-69, Warriors in front. Inbound goes to Peters. He takes a second and allows things to clear out, as Matt's been asking for him to do all night. Hands off to Moorish with Morton on it. Moorish is 9 tonight. Moorish goes right, gathers in the lane, floats with the left, banks it in, plus the foul. Chance Moorish with tough finish after tough finish tonight. He's in double figures for the second straight game, and the 5th Charger in double figures tonight.
We're seeing back-to-back games of Chance Morris being very productive on the offensive end, leading his team as well as scoring the basketball. You could tell this was someone who spent his summer working on his game.
The evolution of Chance Morris is going to be huge for DU this year, as he hits the free throw to get him up to 12. McAlilly up ahead for Young. He hesitates in the corner, steps inside the arc. Plays a little game of catch with Morton. Under 12 to play. The lead is 14. Pierre-Louis spins up with the left, can't hit. Off the front of the rim. Moorish has it. Moorish runs right into Young, who takes it away. Cam Young with Honis running him down. Young drops the hammer. Turning defense into offense all by his lonesome. Peters the shuffle for Edor, but an offensive foul charge against Peters. Back-to-back turnovers by DU. As McAlilly checks out. For ESU, McAlilly's got 28, Morton 18, and then Pichardo and Young 9 each. Carson Howard has 8. Everyone except Terrell Pitts, who was played for the Warriors tonight, has scored. Griffin tried to spin baseline, nowhere to go. Gets it right back from Young with White on him, kicks out Howard. Howard the little hezzy. Straight away for Young, working right elbow. One arm feed, Pierre-Louis, left wing triple, bounces out. Griffin tried to tip the rebound to himself. White goes down. ESU has it, and all alone underneath is Carson Howard.
Yeah, I think that was a blatant foul right there in front of the official. Not sure if he was closed on that look.
For us to have 19 fouls called in 9 minutes this half, but that one might have been missed. Lead back to 18, and the Chargers cough it up again. Just not in sync offensively. As Manny Smith comes in for Michael O'Mani. And Joe Clinton's going to take a timeout. Well, the offense looks better than it did Wednesday, but the defense has already given up more than double what they allowed 2 nights ago. Can they lock down here for the final 10:50? Stay tuned to find out. Warriors 90, Chargers 72. We'll be back real quick here on the CACC Network. Welcome back on the CACC Network out of the Charger timeout. DU down by 18. That's kind of been the sitting margin, 16-20. Here for the majority of this one. Davon Lee drives down the lane, kicks out Pierre Louis. One-arm feed to the corner. Griffin, 3, drained. Lead up to 21 with 10.5 to play. Jacob Kronberg, Matt Augustin here. Thanks so much for joining in. Start of a busy weekend here inside the Hennessy Center. It began at 4 o'clock today as Caldwell took on Franklin Pierce men's basketball edition. There's another takeaway by ESU. Lee's going to run the floor. He fumbles it, and Peters. Honis wanted the lob. Peters takes it down the lane himself, draws the bump, can't hit the shot, and will go to the line for 2. It was Caldwell Franklin Pierce earlier in game 1 of the 12th annual Dan Sullivan Memorial Tournament. Caldwell with a convincing 20-point win there over the Ravens. Obviously, we've got ESU and DU here tomorrow. 3 games. It's the Chargers women's volleyball team welcoming in Caldwell for DU's senior day, and then the women's tournament here as Caldwell takes on Franklin Pierce on the women's side. Dominican hosts Southern New Hampshire University. It doesn't stop there. We've got 4 games on Sunday, the conclusion of both the men's and women's tournaments. DU women will play at 2 on Sunday, the men at 4 against Franklin Pierce. Get our first look of the year. Reggie Dillard, the redshirt freshman from Pennsauken, New Jersey. 0 for 2 on the trip to the line for Peter. 93-72 the score. We just passed the midway point of the half. Edor, Smith, and Peters on the low part of the 2-3. Dillard and White up top. Howard passing from the free throw line. Pierre Louis drives down low, tries to spin around Edor. Tyler knocked it away. Pierre Louis trying to run it down. Never regained possession. And the ball bounces into the lap of Joe Clinton on the bench. Peters comes out. Coy Kirk Jr., the Chargers' leading scorer tonight with 15 back in. They get it to Kirk off the inbound with Young on him. What's been best on best tonight? Kirk spins at the elbow. High arcing shot rattles out. And Griffin secures the defensive rebound. Griffin's got 7 boards tonight. 3. Cam Young, hold that finish, sir. 6-7. And shooting like that, we've already seen what he's done on the defensive side of the ball, and ESU quickly approaching that century mark in points. Jalen Pichardo gets ready to check in.
If I'm Coach Wilson, I'm definitely happy with this win and performance from our team, but I'm extremely happy of how well that they have shot the basketball from the three-point stripe. 51% from today's game In prior games, they have been shooting 26% from three.
Dillard hits the free throw. What they have done, and from top to bottom, guys like Young, who didn't hit a three over the first two games, McAlilly, who was 20% over the first two games, he's got 5 tonight. You know what a Mill Irons is going to bring there. You know what a Davon Lee can bring out there at the three-point line. But if you're open, you have the green light to take the look on this team because everyone out there, including the coaches, seems to have the utmost faith in everyone on the roster. They kick out. Young looking for another. A hair long on this one. Smith with the rebound. Outlets for Coy Kirk Jr. Kick to Dillard in the corner. He hesitates, drives, and a foul on the reach around goes against Young. Dillard short on the first. Hits the second. Eleven times last year, East Stroudsburg hit the century mark in points. Their season high a year ago came against Goldie Beacom out of the Cactus, scored 120. Lee, straight away three, missed wide left. Smith with the rebound, and he's fouled. It's going to be a lot of free throws going forward. Both teams well into the double bonus. And that's Cam Young's 4th, so he'll head to the bench. Christian Pierre-Louis will check back in after this first free throw from Manny Smith. Smith had 11 points and 13 boards in the win Wednesday against the Delphi and was 3 of 4 from the charity stripe, which was a nice sight to see for a guy who shot 30% from the line last year. Now 2 of 4 from the stripe tonight. That one rattles out. Pichardo with the rebound. He was tied up after the fact, but a foul call. Pichardo unhappy about how long that whistle took. You could argue there was a jump ball there, but probably with the way we've seen fouls and how they're trying to keep things under control in this game, he knew a foul was going to be given.
I would go with the jump ball. 20-point game, 8 minutes left.
I think they're trying to keep everyone a little bit level-headed. Things can get heated when teams are scoring in the 100 points against you and have been up big margins. So the foul went against Josh White. And Pichardo misses the first free throw. Pichardo goes 1 of 2 at the line. It's now a 22-point difference, 97-75 with 8:24 to go. And ASU's going to stay in that full court pressure. Kirk on the inbound, got it to White. He works to the far side of the floor as the defense is extended by Davon Lee. White shuffles to Dillard, trying to curl keyhole. Dillard, free throw line, pull up, hits. First field goal of the career of Reggie Dillard. Mill Irons trying to answer. Can't hit the 3 ball in front of his own bench, and Dillard with the rebound. White up ahead for Kirk. He drives baseline, takes the hit from Mill Irons. Shot no good. Smith on a couple follows is finally fouled on the play. Let's go into the line for 2 more. Jaden Honis in to replace Josh White after the first missed free throw from Smith. Honis hasn't played much in this half due to foul trouble. And Smith can't hit here. McAlilly and Honis fighting for the rebound. It goes off the back of the head of Lakeem McAlilly. And an extra possession for the Chargers. Honis to inbound. He's out there with Smith, Edor, Dillard, and Kirk. The inbound goes to Dillard on the perimeter. Kirk wants it. Sets the screen on Millions. Dillard, pull up, right elbow jumper, grazes the front rim. Edor on the miss, the putback, plus the foul for Tyler Edor, the 6'8 freshman center out of Brooklyn. Foul goes against McAlilly, his fourth. And Carson Howard quickly to the scorer's table to check in. He'll replace McAlilly. Edor converts the three-point play. It's back to a 17-point difference. Like the Warriors were shot out of a cannon today. Scorching hot to start. Big part of that was Lakeem McAlilly, who had 17 quick ones. Yes, 17 quick ones in his first 6 minutes of play. So we get a push-off against Davon Lee. No shots on the player control foul, but it's the third on Lee. Inbound to Dillard. Up top for Honis. Honis rolls right, gathers in the lane, floats it up, too strong, second chance. Off the glass and rolls off the rim for Pichardo. Lee up ahead to Pierre Louis. He's jumped by Kirk. The two collide and Kirk knocked it out of play. Evan Morton in replacing Lee. And Isaiah Honis in for Tyler Edor. 97-80, 7:21 to go. Dillard denies the pass. Short corner Howard feeds up to the elbow. Pichardo, pocket pass Howard, the up and under, off the glass and in.
That's a beautiful face-up by Pichardo in the paint.
Manny Smith in transition, wide open for the layup. Yeah, that big-to-big passing has been impressive all night for ESU, and every one of them can really finish well down low. Next point gives ESU the century mark. Morton lost his footing, no travel. Smith takes a hit up top to the nose, and Honis comes away with it. Bodies on the deck behind. Honis will walk into a three and rattles it in. It's like Manny Smith took an elbow or something to the nose. The Chargers within 14. They have a run in them here. It all starts here on the defensive end. Howard alone behind the defense of that zone here. They get it to him in the corner. Kirk, the shuffle out for Pierre Louis. Shot blocked by Dillard. Huge defensive play from Dillard, who's been remarkable off the bench in his collegiate debut tonight. Kirk wide open, three ball, corner pocket. All of a sudden, it's an 11-point game, 99-88 in the track meet of all basketball games. Still 5:52 to go. And some energy coming out of the DU crowd. Morton tries to respond and does, and starts barking in the face of Honis. And Morton's going to get teched, as he should. He hit that shot, immediately looked at Jaden Honis. And now Manny Smith being pulled away by the teammates. Look, this is what we talk. This is why the fouls started getting called a little more frequently, because this gets intense.
Tough shot by Morton on that three, and he definitely let Honis know about it.
Yeah, some unrepeatable words, I'm sure, and he looked him straight in the eyes. And then he really would have gotten away with that initial one. It was the conversion of the two after the fact. They bumped chest, and Morton let loose another word. So he's going to receive a technical foul. It also counts as a personal, his third.
I think they was hyped for the Tyson-Jake Paul fight tonight.
Little prequel.
Undercard.
That one might be more of a real fight than what we're going to see tonight. One's on Netflix, right?
Yes, it
is.
is.
It's on Netflix. I didn't know we did that. Does that mean I don't have to pay pay-per-view tonight? I can just watch?
Absolutely.
Via Netflix?
Yep.
That's cool.
Can you share your credentials with me?
What?
Can you send me Netflix login?
I'm like the third user on whatever. Don't listen to that Netflix. I'm not worried. It's only in my household. 102-88 the score. Both sides over at the bench. Not sure who exactly took the timeout here. But there's a made three by Evan Morton, who's had himself a fantastic night, up to 21 points, 5 of 8 from long range. But received a technical foul after the make. And this becomes the question. We talked about it all last year and in the first 2 games. Free throws are not a gimme for the Chargers off these technical. Who is going to go to the line here? It looks like Honis is going to walk over. Jaden taking his first free throws of the year here. 2 in possession for DU. And nothing but net on the first for Jaden. And Honis hits the second. Chargers ball underneath their defensive basket. It's Isaiah and Jaden Honis, Reggie Dillard, Coy Kirk, and Manny Smith. And hit the crossing pattern for Coy Kirk. Kirk down low. The finger roll drops in. It's a 10-point game. 102-92 with 5:35 to go. Morton across midcourt for Howard. He kicks to Mill Irons. Opts out of the 3. And Morton will settle it down. Dillard on him. Morton floats it up in front, high off the rim, and the teardrop falls. Morton with 23. And then Mill Irons called for the hold. Had his fingertips on the back of Jaden Honis' jersey. And look, you'll take it right now. Points without the clock moving is DU's friend.
That definitely helps the DU Chargers. The ability to score that basketball without the clock moving at all gives them a chance to stay in this game.
There have been 51 fouls called in this game, and we still have 5:15 to go as Honis hits the first. 29 against ESU, 22 against Dooney. What's remarkable, we have 51 fouls. Not a single player is fouled out.
Yeah. and as poorly as the Chargers have been on the offensive boards and value in that basketball, they're down 10. But listen to this. They missed, I believe, 14 free throws.
Yeah, just not going to cut it. It was the Achilles heel last year in a team that played in a ton of close contests. Pichardo swings out. Pierre-Louis from the corner can't hit. Man's rebound for Isaiah Honis. DU played in 10 games last year, decided by 5 points or fewer. Isaiah pulls up in the paint, can't hit, tried to tip off his own miss. Ball stays alive. Honis with the hustle play.
And that's what you like to see, because those little instances is what wins games. The competitive hustle and staying with it by Zay Honis is what they need in this last 4 minutes to have a chance to win.
In those 10 games decided by 5 or fewer last year, the Chargers were 7-3, even as a free throw shooting team at 67%. Kirk airballed the shot. It's loose underneath, out of play, last touched by Mill Irons, and ESU can't believe it. You've had now 3 possessions here, multiple tip-back drives. You have to capitalize with a bucket here if you're the Chargers. Get it to single digits. They go for Dillard. Up top, Honis. Straight away, 3 off the front of the rim. Jaden went in for the rebound, couldn't hold it, and Howard comes out of the pile with it. Morton takes it across the midline. Dillard trying to get in the passing lanes as Morton and Mill Irons play catch. Howard at the high post. Pichardo running baseline. And a kick ball off Coy Kirk. Shot clock will reset to 20 for the Warriors. 104-94. 4:08 to play. Feed to the keyhole. Backdoor Howard. Pass was at his feet. Honis knocked it away. He and Pierre-Louis collide. Chargers are recovering defensively and drop back into the zone. 8 on the timer. Morton, high gather. Morton, fancy finish with the left.
I like Morton. His ability to create off the dribble is something special.
Look, he's your type of guy. Young, athletic, getting to the rim. And like you said, you like a little smoke sometimes. And he delivered it. He's got 23 off the bench.
As a freshman.
Who's going to be a problem?
Somebody may be knocking on his door this summer.
Deep three for Jaden Honis. Barely got to the rim. And Howard with the rebound. UCU a chance to retake control. Mill Irons thought about the transition three. Doubled in the corner. Pops up a pass. Pichardo and Kirk on the tie-up. Somehow Pichardo got it away, but right to Reggie Dillard. Dillard in transition. Takes the bump. The floater. Cashes in. Back to a 10-point difference. Timeout Chargers. 106-96. And yes, this is the same Dominican University Chargers that played a game on Wednesday with 104 total points. Both teams might eclipse our game total from Wednesday. And look, I guess that's part of being a good team and being able to win and compete in multiple ways.
Yeah, and this DU Chargers is staying with it. Down 20, not playing as well as they want to. They stayed with it, got this lead down to 10 with 3 minutes. It's still a competitive game. Not sure how it's going to turn out, but there's a lot of bright spots that they took out from this. A lot of learning areas too, but a lot of bright spots that they did not throw in the towel and just quit.
And you may be learning that some of the rotations this year might be deeper than expected coming in. What an O'Mani did defensively tonight. The lift that Reggie Dillard in his collegiate debut was given off the bench here in the second half. Dillard's getting his hands in all the passing lanes. He's got 7 points, a rebound, a block, and a steal in just 7 minutes of play. Coy Kirk Jr.'s got 20 points for you. But it's going to come back to can they get enough stops defensively here late. I'm sure Coach Clinton would like to see a happy medium between Wednesday and tonight's performance.
And that's what this last 3 minutes comes down to, consecutive stops.
Manny Smith checked back in for the Chargers. Lakeem McAlilly back in with 4 fouls for ESU. You'd love to see on the first Charger touch for someone to attack him. Make him make a decision. And a kick in the backcourt against Isaiah Honis. Morton gets it across. He's been the big shot maker late. He and McAlilly have combined for 53 of the 106, half the offensive production. Shuffle for Howard, somehow gets the shot off and banks it in over Manny Smith. Lead back to a dozen with under 3 to go.
And it was Morton who created an opportunity for Howard to score.
Dillard opts out of the triple. He's got Howard on him. Will he try and take the big off? They're clearing out the floor for him. Both Honis on curl plays. It's Zay on the right wing. Zay working baseline. Zay shuffles underneath. And Kirk right hand left side for the finish. Got to get a stop. You've proven you can score against this defense. Can you stop the offense if you're the Chargers? They blitz Morton. Gets it away to McAlilly in the keel. Underneath Howard. And the up and under finishes with the left. Carson Howard, 16 points tonight. And a foul before the inbounds against Ethan Millions. His 4th. And it's going to be Dillard at the free throw line. He's 3 of 4 tonight. Davon Lee ready to check in for East Stroudsburg. Dillard hits the first. Lee will not check in, but Cam Young will, who also has 4 personals, replacing Ethan Millions. The Chargers 27 of 41 at the stripe tonight. And that sub 70% continues to be remarkable considering they're shooting over 50% from the floor and from three. Deep pass up ahead for Howard. Trying to spin on Smith. Turned away. Long rebound out to Young in the corner. They reset for Morton. That's an over and back. That's an over and back. The Chargers with a big stop. A bucket here puts it in single digits with 1:43 to go. And they go right to Dillard on the inbound. Dillard, right wing three. Caught every part of the rim, but fell out. McAlilly with a rebound. He turns it over. There's Honis, stripped from behind, and last touched by Manny Smith. McAlilly with a huge mistake. Somehow gets away with it, recovering defensively. And Young's going to check out. When do you start fouling if you're the Chargers? Down 10, 1:30 to go. How early do you decide to try and extend this game?
I'm waiting it out. I'm trying to see if we can turn it over. We have the momentum as we just got a steal right here. Now you must convert.
Zay to Jaden for three. He knew it was short. Off the front of the rim. Howard with the rebound. But the outlet picked off Manny Smith. This game is just about pure athleticism tonight. As Honis went into traffic, wanted the foul, didn't get it, and he pounds his fist into the padding behind the hoop after the fact. Now the foul given by DU the other way. Josh White and Juelz Dickerson ready to check back in. Looks like Chance Morrish will join him. As that foul went against Reggie Dillard. Lee off on the first. Hard to believe after the start that ESU was turned it over more times than Dominican tonight. 20 cough-ups for the Warriors, 18 for the Chargers. The thing is, ESU has capitalized more on their turnovers. Plus 15 in terms of points off turnovers, 31-16. Lee for the second. Barely grazed the front of the rim. Smith has it. Chargers got away with a foul. It's Morrish with Howard on him in the backcourt. Got to go quickly if you're the Chargers. Under a minute to play. Morrish got away with a push off. The finger roll falls. 8-point game, timeout DU. .56 seconds to go. Does your mindset change?
No. We're going to stay with it defensively, full court pressure. I'm not reaching, right? If I'm the Chargers mindset, right, you want to put the pressure on this Warriors team.
But if they work the ball around for let's say they work it around and you get a stop. Best case scenario is 27 seconds, down by 8. I agree with you. You don't foul in the backcourt yet. You apply the pressure, force that turnover, but you might have to start giving it.
Yeah, but then more importantly is who you foul, who you're gonna foul.
Davon Lee would be a nice candidate. Just 43% from the line over the first 2 games of the season. He is 0 for 2 from the stripe tonight. Christian Pierre-Louis is 0 for 1. The problem is everybody else outside of that has missed 1 combined free throw. They are 17 of 21 from the stripe. (110-102). In a game in which the Chargers faithful probably felt down and out for a long while.
And this is why I always tell you free throws are so important. When you miss 14 free throws in a game when you're down 8, that's where it comes back to haunt you.
28 of 42. They've taken double the amount of free throws as East Stroudsburg. Trap off the inbound.
Out of bounds.
And Morton stepped out of bounds. Just 4 seconds come off the clock, and DU takes over offensively. Josh White to inbound. You've got Isaiah Honis, Jewels Dickerson, Chance Morrish, and Manny Smith. And the Chargers can't get it in. They're forced to take another timeout. So no Jaden Honis out there, even though
I would like to see Jaden.
He's got 4 fouls, but
I would like to see him come back in at this point. And the reason is why is he's probably the best scorer offensively on this team. And if you look at it tonight, outside of Honis and Kirk Jr., those are the 2 players who only have 20 points.
Neither were on the floor there. They've combined for 42 tonight. Kirk with 22, Honis has 20, Morrish a baker's dozen, Dickerson 11, and Isaiah Honis with 10 are the 5 in double figures for the Chargers. 5 in double figures for ESU as well. McAlilly, 28 points, but the majority of that came in the first half. They've held them to just 5 points in this second half, and that's a big reason why they've climbed back in at the Chargers. Evan Morton has stepped up. He's got 25 points. 16 for Carson Howard. Cam Young's got a dozen. And then Jalen Pichardo with 10 off the bench. East Stroudsburg defensively is going to go with the 6'9 Howard down low, the 6'7 Young, the 6'6 McAlilly. And then Morton and Pierre-Louis at 6'2". No personnel changes for the Chargers. Zay Honis, Chance Morrish, Josh White, Jewels Dickerson, and Manny Smith. Dangerous ball in for Smith, trying to go to work on Howard. Short arm the layup. McAlilly the rebound. Got it away to Young. Young doubled in the corner. Timeout taken by East Stroudsburg.
Now, Manny Smith has to collect himself on that. I think he received the basketball. He didn't really size up the defender. He kind of just went with it as soon as receiving the basketball. If I was Manny Smith, I would like to take one second, get my composure, face up to the basket, and make a good, strong drive.
Yeah, I was surprised to see the play drawn up for your defensive-minded center there. Obviously, Smith showed his ability to score Wednesday against Adelphi. But what Chance Morrish has done in getting to the rim tonight and what we've seen Isaiah Honis do in the past, I thought that play was going to develop for somebody coming around an off-ball screen after the touch for Manny Smith. Instead, he tried to go quickly on Howard, and as much improved as we've seen Manny, Howard has the length to match him and is 6'9".
Yeah, and Howard's a big guy. He's kind of equal size and probably a little bit stronger as Manny Smith as well. I'm not sure if the play was actually drawn up for Manny, but that's how it developed.
All right, so now time a little more pertinent. You maybe get a trap or 2 before you have to foul, but I think if ESU, if they possess past you just got to grab from behind here. Time is not on your side.
Yeah, I would go for that foul as soon as and if the ball gets over half court.
Mm-hmm. Will inbound buried in the corner. Smith, the longest wingspan, will defend it. And it'll be 7 seconds to get it over the timeline. Isaiah Honis comes up hobbling after he collided with Morton. Pass gets in, and the foul is given. Honis came up a little bit lame, trying to stick with Evan Morton there. As Morrish gives the foul his 3rd. Coy Kirk Jr. over the scores table, ready to check in. As Morton goes to the line for 2. 4 of 4 from the stripe today. Perfect through the first 3 games of his collegiate career as he hits the front end. Pichardo and Young in for Howard and Millirons. Defense for offense here. And Coy Kirk Jr. in for Isaiah Honis, who's still trying to work out that ankle moving over to the bench. Morton good on the second. It's a 10-point game with 43 to go. Inbound for White. White for the trailer and Dickerson. Top of the key 3, Jewels. Rattles it in. 7-point game. They go right back to Morton. Gets it away. McAlilly on the spin, lost it. Too much time coming off. You got to foul. Davon Lee's the guy to give it on, although it looked like they had fouled McAlilly in the backcourt.
They almost got the turnover that they wanted. Jules Dickinson was just a step away where he couldn't grab it enough time.
Things got active in the backcourt there with the loose ball this late in the game. Just a 7-point difference. Davon Lee, 0 for 2 at the stripe today. And he gets the friendly roll. But we've talked so much about Evan Morton, how impressive he's been as a freshman. It's one thing to go out and score, but the fact that your freshman backup guard is the guy you want the ball in the hands of for these free throws late, that's who they are trying to get the ball to, as Lee goes 2 for 2. Up ahead for Morrish. Morrish working into the paint, goes up strong, and called for the offensive foul. That's probably going to do it. 9-point game with 22 to go as Mill Irons checks back in. He'll replace Cam Young. The foul before the inbounds goes against Josh White. Second against White. The 57th combined foul of this game. Will initiate free throws 68 and 69 between these two teams. And Morton got on the first. He remains perfect. Young back in. He and Mill Irons on that offensive for defensive swap. And Morton with another perfect trip to the charity stripe. McAlilly comes out. Nasir Griffin in. With just 22 seconds to go. The softest of pressure we've seen full court from either side tonight. Morrish will blitz it up the floor. Tries to walk into a right wing three. Off the heel. Long rebound, Manny Smith. Kick out Josh White. Left wing triple. Nearly wedged in. It falls for Cam Young. Just got to get it over half court. DU appears to be surrendering here. This is going to be a 10-second violation. No. Or not.